Thank you. It is so good to finally hear your voice. Good evening, Rose. It's a pleasure to have you back with us again
And
tonight.
it's a pleasure to be here too. At short notice, Marcia asked if I could come on, and
Yes.
I obliged because I know I would have been joining you, and
Oh,
I
I am
should be
so
joining
flattered.
Rebecca Caswell
Yes,
and
yes.
Maxine. So it lends for a very interesting evening and good company, as well as company with our faithful
Loyal opposition.
audience,
Yes.
loyal sons and daughters. All good evening,
Good
firm
evening.
craftsmen of our faith. And Marcia did ask, if I could look at the the um the prime minister's um the surface yesterday,
Right.
and um the some of the things that were said pertaining to crime, since we've been focusing um
On that matter.
yes,
Yes. Now
since
she
we've
she
been
sent me
fo-
a little note asking me to play this video that's up on the screen, um, that was sent. So let me play it because apparently I was supposed to do that before I actually brought you in. I saw the advice late. So if you permit me, Rose, just let Dave run that video before you continue. Is that all right?
yes, please,
Thank
yes,
you very
please.
much. Okay, Dave, go right ahead.
Morning, Barbados. Matthew be here. Well, I was listening to the Prime Minister message yesterday, church service, where she had some of her flock. So I understand some of the things she's trying to say. But, Prime Minister, first thing first, this nation needs an apology from the government. You, as leader of the government, need to apologize to this nation. And I can tell you why. Because it's some of the policies and the laws that you all people have put in place that have society how it is today. You understand what I'm saying? All like this going to school, carrying the hair is like all this ease on marijuana. You understand what I'm saying? These is things that the youth planning to take up and tell us that we could do what we want. You understand what I'm saying? Not because you got you here and carry you here as you like that you want everybody else got you to carry the hair just like you. You understand, Mr. Prime Minister? This nation needs an apology. Or like flogging in school. You know the teachers, some of the teachers frightened for these kids, frightened for the children. They can't speak these children. You got children that could go in school, probably telling teachers, "Mama, they can't hit me. They can't hit me." I can tell my mother. You probably got that's what some of the students get in school and threatening the teachers because of these laws your people put in place. Your people adapt the outside world laws and system and bring it here for the nation that was well behaved or better off. You understand what I'm saying? Things have gotten worse. You understand what I'm saying? This free trade movement that when I bring out here is another thing because different cultures creeping into the system to be society and the youths adapting it. You know what I'm saying? This is what going on in this country, Mr. Prime Minister. You all need to apologize to this nation. You understand what I'm saying? They are just a bad people. You understand what I'm talking about, Mr. Prime Minister?
Wow. Wow. Thank you so very much. You see, that's the expression of the people in the country. That is how the people feel. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this show, there's a sense in which, as I travel around the country and people engage me, they're speaking concerning the moral right of any of the members of parliament speaking to any matter of crime and violence based on what they see occurring in the parliament. So it just bears out what we said. Nevertheless, Rose, thank you so very much for facilitating me with that. I missed it in my schedule from Marcia tonight. So I apologize for having to take up a little bit of your time, but you're back with me. So let me get out of the way and let you loose. You aren't muted, but I am not hearing you. I'm not hearing you. You are unmuted. But
You not hear me?
yes, you got you now. Whatever button you touch brought you right in.
Yes.
Yeah.
I listened to the gentleman in that video, and I could hear his sentiments. And we're hearing that around, that the Barbadian public is due apologies for all the things that are going wrong. The recent occurrences, as you know, with the giveaways, as well as the giveaway of prime property, prime land without consultation, without letting us know what's going on, and the various allegations associated in terms of financial transactions that may have occurred, particularly with the last property at Gemmett's Lane. And then we are tired now of the crime and violence leading to death, and the most recent one with little Mr. Chase. And we are owed an apology, but will we be getting an apology? No. They are in pursuit of their own agenda. They are in pursuit of their own protecting themselves in terms of their gratuities and their pensions. So they're not rocking the boat. They're staying safe. And I hope sometime that I will be able to speak about cautioning the Barbadian public not to engage in transactional, different from what is said, practice overseas, but transactional voting, where they come and they engage in transactions and exchanges of trinkets for your vote. It's about time to, and the clip that I'm going to show now, Pastor Ferdy, I listened from start to finish. I enjoyed the worship. I I liked the sermon, that I will bless the Lord at all times. Psalm 31, his praise shall be continually in my mouth. It was right uplifting from the preacher. But then I, say, now here the platform is being used now as another political machinery. And so it did happen. And I want us to listen, Pastor Ferdy, to the clip where the Prime Minister made some comments, some remarks.
For if we as a party can work with the churches in our communities, can work with the institutions in our community, can work with the mosque in our communities, the temples in our communities, while at the same time ensuring that for Easter and summer and for weekends, that there is wholesome activity, be it in the form of sports, be it in the form of cultural and community groups, be it in the form of ensuring that more Cub Scouts can be located across communities and more Girl Guides across community. And across the community, the notion of sea cadets, because you cannot be an island without mastering the ocean. They say that one group of people in this country told the children, the sea ain't got in the back door, so stay out of it. And another group said the sea ain't got in the back door, so learn to swim and learn to sail. And we can decide which one makes sense, but to me it is the latter, because no one or nothing should constrain our ambitions and our capacity as individuals in this country. So my friends, my message is simple. It is not a lot of long talk. It is to tell you that we have a mission.
Let's stop the video.
Separate from that.
Let's stop the video. And in that, and in the interest of time too, I can paraphrase what she would have said. And I made a note. She spoke about the communities. I'm sorry, a call is coming through, I'm sorry. She talked about going back into the communities. And I smiled and I said, how do you mean going back? She is telling her MPs, she's telling those within her party to go back into their communities and engage in their communities. Didn't we not vote for them? Not we, not me, the Barbadian public, then I said, say we. Those who voted for this administration, they did not expect those they voted for to be part of the community now as they were then. Why is she saying go back into your communities and engage with your communities? That means that the various communities and constituencies across the island she herself may have become concerned that her MPs are not in touch with their communities. That is why she used the occasion to tell them go back into their communities and engage with them. And I would say go back into your communities because it's time to electioneer. It's time now to get that vote. And I would want the constituents to engage them and ask them, what have you done for us lately beyond getting our vote twice? Then the Prime Minister talked about, again, communities must come together and carry the load, not just let a few do the heavy lifting. But by giving her 30-0 at the outset, twice, didn't she have enough to do the heavy lifting? Why must communities, suffering communities who are already overburdened, the church, the civil society organizations, why whenever there's a crisis, we must come and do the heavy lifting? Have they not been elected to do the heavy lifting on our behalf? Are they not being paid to do that? And also, what about the many consultants from kith and kin who have been hired to do the heavy lifting? And that is one of my concerns, that we are often being, whenever there is a crisis, a situation, the public is brought to bear. We are made to feel guilty for neglecting our citizenship and our citizenry in terms of not doing our part. And I do buy into our pledge. I pledge allegiance to my country, Barbados, and to my flag, to uphold and defend their honor by my living, to do credit to my nation wherever I go. But clearly, I believe sometimes that the last phrase in that pledge, to do credit to my nation wherever I go, that some of them are not doing credit really as persons who have been voted in. Now, I heard Miss Kim McConney in her speech in response to the budget, saying that, you know, you have to carry the burden if you want to share the bounty. And that seems now to be the mantra now. If to share the bounty, you must carry the burden. But how much more can be put on the Barbadian public? So I also, in her that clip in her speech to the church, again, it was a political speech in some way. She asked that she said, talked about anchoring our children in Sunday school. Now, Pastor Ferdy, I'm sure you will agree to me that that is a contradiction. And I read what she said here. She said that, you know, the children must be engaged or doing some wholesome activities. Go out into your communities and get the persons and the youth to do wholesome activities in your communities, mosques, temples, churches, clubs. And listen to this, Reverend Ferdy, at Easter, summer, weekends. What's happening this upcoming Easter weekend? Isn't
you
Vice
want me to
Cartel coming in?
you want me to answer that, or are you going to
Yes,
answer it?
please help me. I might have
You
missed
mean
something.
you mean that Vibes Cartel concert on Easter Sunday?
And she did say that engage, get her youth. That is a contradiction. Get her youth into wholesome activities on at Easter. She started at Easter. Now, this I am part of a chat, and these persons, one person was quite happy. Let me tell you what was my response. I didn't even know Marcia was going to invite me. And this person was, you know, kind of happy that the prime minister I'm looking, pulling it up, that the prime minister, you know, made that speech about getting our youth engaged in wholesome activity. And this person who was speaking in the chat said, oh, thank God, hallelujah. You know, there's a cultural shift, there's a shift. And I wrote back, the PM is good at making appealing speeches. Here on my cell phone. But the contradictions remain by her actions and silence on other matters. Up in her faces is the Vibes Cartel concert on Easter weekend. Slacking off on, and then I went on to list other contradictions. The same thing the gentleman in the video said. Slacking off on proper grooming of hair for students. I see the hairstyles of both boys and girls at secondary school, and I could point to others. I expect this kind of impassionate plea and instructive admonition from her, given the occasion, especially in a good old-fashioned Pentecostal setting. But I am not swayed, neither am I impressed. I reserve my hallelujahs, the highest praise, and I can bet that she will be at the Vibes Cartel concert. Still I pray. Still I pray. I ended up. And there were persons who agreed. Now, this is what we're hearing. No, she is also, I am pleased that the Prime Minister is advocating for a change. She's concerned about gun violence, death, etc. But it has to start from the examples they are setting in terms of good governance, in terms of leadership, and in terms of doing what is right by the people and for the people. Now, we have heard the Prime Minister saying guns do not walk, guns do not talk. She has said that many times, hasn't she, Reverend
Yes, she
Fergie?
has. Yes, she has.
And my note to that one is this we know, but guns do talk. When that trigger is pulled, it talks. And it talks by the results caused. That body that is wounded, that body that is shot down and lost in death. Guns do talk. She says guns do not walk. They're walking. They're walking. They're not closeted. They are not packed away in a safe. They are walking. And my question is, who puts them in the hands of these young children and youth? Somebody got to know who is putting and contracting or assigning these youths as human shields for them. That's all I'm saying. You're not going out there and doing it, and you're using somebody's boy child, somebody's grandchild, somebody's nephew, somebody's godchild, somebody's student as shields. Big hardback men, maybe women, are doing that to our youth, making the guns walk and talk. Somebody has to know where they are. Somebody has to know where they're coming from. So just don't tell us. If you see something, say something. And I am seeing that the contradictions again. And when I hope your people, Madam Prime Minister, go into the communities where you're sending them like Jesus. She's become Jesus now, Pastor Ferdy, where Jesus took the disciples and sent them 2 by 2 into communities. She's saying, go into your communities. I do hope that those sent into the communities will be brave enough to do what the leader says. If you see something, say something. When they go into the nooks and the crannies, and they engage, and they go into the blocks, and they go into other areas that we call the dens, the drug dens, the gatherings, and they see things, that they will say something. They take the lead now. Let us see if this would help in the clampdown and in the reduction of the gun-related crime and violence. And this is my concern. And I will share something that I saw firsthand. During the by-election in St. George North, we were canvassing on the PDP for a young gentleman. We happened to go into one of the communities, and it was cul-de-sac. Little did we know that the person who is now the parliamentary representative, who won that election was down in the cul-de-sac. I am not saying that you can't engage. I am not um, imputing any immoral, any uh,
Ill intent.
inappropriate act to her. But there was this individual, and I was told that person was down there for the best part of the day. The environment was a very questionable environment. And so we had the person blocked in. They couldn't, embarrassment kept them down there for a while till they probably say, "Go get out." But the activities witnessed by us were not what we would call outright activities. There wasn't Sunday school, the Sunday school that the Prime Minister is saying to get the children grounded in. And sometime after, we learned that someone who was engaged in nefarious acts, but would move from their own community and use that as a hot spot for what they were doing, was gunned down and killed in that community.
Wow.
So you're telling me that they do not know, when many of them hail some of these same people? Our dear brother Caswell laments about the invitation that was given to a suspicious group of persons known to the Barbadian public to attend the opening of
Opening of Parliament.
Parliament, when he was denied a ticket, an invitation to have his wife accompany him. So they do know guns do not walk, they do not talk, but there is a source. And I would say that not only do we the Prime Minister talked about that parents can make them go to Sunday school. So you are looking at a 16, and she said 16, 17, 18. Make them go. It is easier said than done when you, under your own administration, has sought to change the rights of the child. You have taken away through your various and I think it wasn't it MP Tony Moore who chaired that commission that looked at the legislation on the Child Protection Act. Is that not it?
I believe
Yes,
so.
it is.
I believe
And
it is.
if you look at that, the objection to the conditions and the offerings in that document that were due to the fact that the child, a lot of the rights and responsibilities that fell under the had parental, were seen as parental rights, were now being shifted to the child. So
Well,
here you are telling a parent now to force your young child to Sunday school up to age 18 when the rights have been taken away, and that child could report that parent for abuse. You're abusing me. I don't want to go to church, and you're forcing me to. When
yeah,
all of
especially
the government has to
today.
do some introspection, Reverend Ferdy,
Yes, yes,
before you
yes,
come being instructive to us
yes,
from the sacred pulpit.
yes.
And
Well,
I do hope that, and I'll wrap up here. I do
very
hope that
quickly, 'cause
when they
you're
go
1 minute
into the
over.
community, they go into the community, that we will see a reduction, that her MPs will take the lead and smoke out, like how you smoke
Yes,
out bees from a hive, smoke
yes,
out
yes.
the illegal and illicit gun related activities.